Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue to talk about Paimon, the book that I have written, King Paimon, the Lord of the Abyss, the Lord of the Endless Silence. And we are back to our thematic, the mirrors. Because it's always good to go back to the first lesson. It's almost, if there was a story, and the answer is always in the beginning, or the key was always in the first room. That's like a first rule, you know. So it's almost say, well, what is about the mirror, no? In the book, and as well, you know, it makes me think about the desert, no? It almost looks like a mirror. And the reflection, sometimes you don't see, you know, this is like the mirage, no? Of the desert because of the heat. And it's almost to say, well, you know, if one can go even deeper, I mean, we are going to go back to the thematic of the mirror, which is always our first thematic. It's the mirror, okay? So the second thematic, it will be like the black mirror, and the meaning of that. I will try to speak more about that. And then will be a little different now. We can take like a tiger or an animal of the desert. So the first thematic, no, we were discussing in the other recordings about the mirror and the meaning of the mirror. And, you know, I've spoken that it is related to the desert through the material that is made. There's a lot of symbolistic, a lot of similarities to the desert. The thematics, as we have seen, work very well together. And we have the desert, the water, the camel, I would say even like the tiger, no, or the lion. It's like the animal of the desert. Of course, the camel is like the first animal, no, of the desert one has to think about. It's almost to say the camel is made for the desert, no? And then the mirror, because it has the sand, and then with the sun, at the same time it speaks about the sun god Ra, no? The mirage in the same time of the desert. And that what water means in the desert, no? There's always like a beauty and a danger. So the mirror aspect, no? If I was to think in connection to the desert, it's pretty much this. At the same time, we have the color green, and the color of the trees, the colors of the shadow, colors of the, you know, caves, or the green color, no? At the same time, the shadow color, which almost enters in the thematic of the black mirror. The black mirror is not necessarily to say, well, it's black, you know, it's to say, well, it is not, you cannot see, no? It's black in that meaning. And at the same time, it carries more meaning, of course, no? Almost to say what is unseen carries more meaning. At the same time, sometimes things can be revealed, no? It's almost like a certain feeling, or through each person individuality. Or different type of experiences, no? Speaking about pleasant ones. So in the book, it's very much about like a travel. And, you know, as I've said, the sound of music, it always comes with Paimon, the sound of music. In music, we have cimbale, or any sound of music, no? There's it's like a song, like a mirage. So wherever Paimon goes, there is music, or there is sound, there is, you know, the voice, no? And that voice, so to say, it speaks endlessly. It's almost like if it was a deeper meaning, it was like even the vision with him in the, you know, room, on his throne, no, with the black and the black mirrors, everything in this way, with the crown, him sitting on the throne. Like it's a very clear representation of his dominion. He's a king. You know, he has this knowledge and power. So the most interesting aspect is, of course, is the endless talking, and his voice is very much a mirage. No, it's it doesn't consider that aspect of the mirage, but of course it has. It's a repetitive music. It's a sound and music in the back, and then you hear his voice. And so he appears like that in the book, with him talking, with him on his throne, and almost like teaching how to be treated. He's teaching already, He's like a great teacher in that way. And I try to understand, of course, the meaning of the black mirror, which was almost like a new concept. And I've spoken that, of course, he represents the West, the Mercury, the Sun, the power, as I've said. The Semitic god is god Arzu, which Ars, the word Ars, it has to do with the sun, the power of the sun, the power of the desert. At the same time, he speaks about desert, about sand, about time, even about distance. We always see in the travel, him and girl traveling on the camel, and you see the distance, the vastness of the desert. And it is a mirage, it's a beautiful mirage. And then when the things that it almost comes into the poem, as I said, I have included in the poem a lot of the material that I received and my inspiration, and the story, really almost like I've said, King Paimon is my masterpiece, is my best book. It's like the one I love most, the one I worked on most. It is a large book, and it is written in a hymn form. It was new for me, it was not easy. I had to go through many verses, of course, but it has this beautiful, I did it because it has this beautiful meditative, almost like endless type of feeling, And it's not only feeling, it's like reality, King Paimon is a god, He is a king on his dominion, in his power, and that's what he's teaching at the beginning of the poem. It's very beautiful how he represents himself, And then there's this vision with a girl in the market that he goes, and it's almost to say the song in silence, The song representing the girl, the music, the aspect, At the same time, it connects Paimon too to the music, and then it's the beautiful love between song and silence, the romantic effect. And that goes through the desert, I describe very beautiful their meeting, the way, they fell in love with each other, and then their travel through the desert. And it's always the same repetitive symbols that I have seen, So you have like the beautiful of the desert, the night desert. So we always enter more into the shadow, but in a beautiful way, the coolness of the shadow, the quietness, the night, the stars, and at the same time the day, And during day there's like dialogue, and then during night too. So there's a lot of between them, this dialogue and this travel through the desert. And it's very sweet because it's almost like they are together, and then he's teaching her, things. She's asking him things about how he's going to be there, what is going to happen, or and you see how Paimon sees himself as an eternal child, as an eternal being, and he gives very beautiful answers to her questions. He represents the endless time, the endless. We can call it abyss, but it's almost like behind the black mirror, there's the most meaning. It's almost like if I was to, there are different meanings, but this is definitely one of them. As I've said, the black mirror represents more meaning. To say one question has more answers, but they always have to fit together, It's like the puzzle has to be the same, and the pieces as well, So I try to recreate, of course, the beautiful feeling of the first meeting in the market, which was the main point, the beautiful point, and it's almost like it changes the story. It gets even more romantic. It's very, very beautiful, and it's almost to say, well, this is just the storyline, but of course the book carries a lot of meaning. It's very beautiful. Written, and it's as I've said, my masterpiece, because I really could talk about it endless. It's really very beautiful. As I've said, not necessarily the story is magical, but the messages and what Paimon represents and what it represented for me to write the book. And I really loved the different meanings. No, it connected me to different aspects of myself. So the shadow, no, the mirror is full of meaning, as well as, you know, to say the light aspect. And I see Paimon in both aspects. No, I've seen him on the throne, no, in the meaning of his coronation, or in his you know, full power or destiny. No, what he is. No, he, as I said, represents himself in the book. And then there is the aspect of him, you know, being in the village with the girl and the travel. It's almost like things change, no, and the deeper meaning of his chamber, or how I would call it. Like, I always have to be careful now. It's always, there's always like a reverie to his meaning, no? Because there is the aspect of king, no, the aspect of deity, and even if it was not, no, because I've said he represents himself as a normal human being, but he carries that power, no, so he carries that aspect. And the travel through the desert, or the meeting itself between them, is very, very beautiful. At the same time, the beginning, the representation of him in his power, I really love how the book starts with him talking. No, it's almost like the first character has to start in a play. If I was to make a theater, the main character starts to talk, because that's, you get the public. It's the, I don't know, you know, I'm just thinking now about theater, but as I've said, the book, as I have written it, it was very specified how I had to write it. I had to go many times. Maybe I went, I want to say 50 times on it. I don't know. But many times I had to go through it, and I had to always improve, no? And it's almost like the thematic of the mirror is interesting as well. So as I've said, the first question of the mirror, no? And, you know, it's always, I say, well, the white and dark, and the aspect of the day and the night, there's this, but the story, or the love of them, you know, almost like they create the magic, no? The story is, the opening scene, and then of course the scene can change, you know, and then we have like these main scenes when him on the throne, and the second, the meeting in the market, then it's the travel in the desert, and then comes like the wedding, or like there's a transformation of him in a way, and transformation of her, no? I don't want to necessarily speak all about the book. It has, of course, it is like 680 pages, and it goes in the end to a different story as well. And yeah, the book starts like, you know, there's this repetition, don't walk away from me. It's almost to say, wait, how can you walk away from, you know, it's the lesson of the abyss of the darkness, what it means. No, it's like, it teaches one to see things. It's like a very wise book. Now there's like a book that carries an echo, a book that has a substance, a meaning, no, to it, beside the story. And the story too is like very beautiful. That's why I see Paimon like my favorite book. I really love it. And about the hymn, you know, it does carry like the way it is written, a heaviness to it. It gives a good earth, you know. It's almost like it is in the desert, the story, but it's like it has a very good surrounding, like a very good earth, no? There's always this element of water, of green, of earth, of the future, something to grow. So it has a very romantic, very beautiful meaning. When I was at the temple there, you know, it's almost like, you know, like as I said, it was a vision, and I remember it very well. And then I didn't enter in the chamber. I was at the door, as I said, as I read in the book as well. There is no key, there is no door, you know. So at the same time, I didn't enter the chamber. No, there's always like a a reverie, respect the distance, no? And it was like I could hear his voice, which in this chamber, maybe the voice resonance, no? There is a meaning to this black cube, there is a meaning to this black, the power of what it contains, the black mirror, through its potential, no? And the aspect of the market too, it's almost like, well, it is like a simple market, it's like a temple, it's like people, the market, it's like very desert, like hot wind, there's some type of desert sand in the air, no? There's this aspect of the desert. And then people like in the market, it's like morning, 10, 11, and the fruits, and then, people do what they do, and then the girl is sitting down and playing her instrument, and there's almost, in that moment, Paimon appears on his camel, and she was able to recognize him. And then he stops, and he asks her, how you child of earth, how you recognize me. There's a dialogue between them, it's very beautiful. And she answers, something that she plays now from her heart. I don't know, like how it comes now, like the wind, or this answer like that, no? And then he asks her to come with him, to travel together through the desert. And then, they take this travel together, and then there is the element of the night, of the sky, of the shadow. There's the element of coolness, no? And it's like to say, well, since that moment they are together, no? They are like, they're almost like there's going to be a wedding, or the wedding, it's on the spot, no? There's the element of recognition and what that means, and his offer to take her with him through the desert. So the story has like very beautiful romantic, and then you have them, in the tent, in the night. It's almost like a ceremony, there's the element of fire, and they're talking. It's very beautiful romantic with the sky, the night sky with the stars, and it's almost like they have their wedding there. Even if maybe in the story I didn't represent the wedding there, because I was more like just thinking on the travel and the connection between them. But I had a vision where I talked about the wedding in the desert, no? But I said it's almost like a ceremony. There's the element of fire, a third person, and them and two. It's almost like a marriage, a contract, a soul contract, in that way. And then there is this element of the cave. And it's almost like he's teaching her things about the future, or how he views things, and he shares of him, and she teaches him too, or shares of her too as well. She shows him things, and there is this element of togetherness, like companions, and they go through and then there is the actual marriage. At the same time, she goes with him, and there's the marriage aspect of them. Almost like it appears 2 times, or 3 times, like from the first meeting, the wedding in the desert, and the third part, which is them being together, And there's a lot of love declaration between them. So there's the romantic goes even more romantic. It's really nice. I really love how the book starts. I really love the beginning, and then I very much love, of course, the dialogue between them and the story, And going back to the mirror, to say, well, the mirror can be even the vision or the dream, The mirror is always like a question answered, or a desire fulfilled, or a moment of destiny, There's this element of, him coming together, through his song and silence, and she too the same, It's almost to say they are the same, they are like soul union. So there's extremely this beautiful element, of them finding each other and loving each other and loving to be together. So there's element of eternal love, the element of eternal beauty. So there is the I almost like to say, well, the situation, goes. The story does have a continuation. No, there is a beautiful end. Also, there is the element of like the beginning, and then how the story goes further on. There is a feeling of anticipation, and I really like to read it too. I think it has a very nice tone to it, It's like a poem, like a hymn. It's very Greek-like, the form that I chose. It is normally used to tell longer stories, no? It is like a special genre of the literature, which you choose a form that you have to keep through the entire book. This is like hymn, no? It has a certain number of syllables. It can change, but there is like a, as I've said, the book has some repetitions into it, which is like part of the story. It's like exactly how it's supposed to be. And almost to say, well, because it's a hymn, it's allowed, no? It has a meaning of, it has a role in the story why it repeats itself. And when you read it, you understand in different ways, It's interesting. It's a nice exercise. And it has to do with the theater. I think one can learn the text, It's like always has to be a hymn or a poem or some type of rhyme that one can remember it well. At the same time, it is a long story. It is really, it's long. It's nice to read a long story. I enjoy long stories like that. It's very, very beautiful. No? And I knew I want to write a large book, but I didn't know it's going to be so big. I really didn't know. And for the amount of the work, actually, it went very fast, and I enjoyed working on it very much. And I tried to make it very good, or I went more times on it every time to improve, no? As I've said, I don't like to have mistakes in there, or I try as much as possible. And at the moment, of course, I did work on different books. I'm writing a saga called The Fracture Gate, and I want them in 2 parts, and it's another novel that I'm writing. So King Paimon, it is ready. And I have other stories too, of course, which one can read, and they're all a little bit different. It's almost like when I write a good book, I try to write a second one. It's always like it is interesting for me as well. And I did write a second one called Gusion. It's almost like a representation of the tiger, the lion. Yeah, interesting, no? It's like the third key, because we were talking about that we are going to come to the tiger and the lion, what it represents, no? Through the element of the color of the gold, it's in terms of the black, almost to say, while the white is not really white, it's like an orange, no? It's like a warm yellow. And the dark is not really dark, it's almost like a dark blue, or a blue, representing the night sky. It's a moment when you see the stars, no? So it is this very beautiful, you have like the hot sand and then the cool night sky, or there's always something pleasant about the book. Through the element of music, of the sun, it's really very, very nice book. It's very nice to read. I'm going to still continue to read from it. Yeah, I think it's nice to have it in voice as well. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to continue to talk about the Black Mirror, and I will still take a few minutes to say a little bit about the first mirror. No, almost to say, well, like we said, we go back to the beginning. I almost to ask, like, why there was no key, no door. Almost to say, well, there was no key because there was no door. It's almost like don't make a problem if it's not necessary. There's even like, well, the other way around. It's like, wow, the meaning of, okay, the door had no key. So there's, I think, 2 ways. 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 2 wa reverie that King Paimon gives back, no? There's this beautiful young spirit that he is, no? He's represented by a young man or young boy, no? But he has the role of this eternal child or the eternal power. It's almost like sometimes when you speak about unicorn, something that doesn't exist, no? It's almost, of course it carries the element of magical because it's part of it. The element of magician, the fire, the west, the Mercury. No, of course, he's a deity. He has magical powers, you know. And then there's the element of the eternal child, no? There's the element of the beauty. And how he's able to read minds and read souls, no? It's almost like when they met, the girl didn't spoke to him. She said in her, like, you know, in her head by playing the music, please take me with you, you know. There's this element of her asking silently. So she was like, she was using the silence, but she was playing the music. So she was silent in song. And he saw that. And he said, child of earth, no? Child of sun, no? Because she was in the sun, in the temple, playing this music, like sitting down, no? And he passed in this market, no? There's the element of the market during day. He was on his camel. And then she almost felt that in her heart, like she wanted to be with him, and she was able to recognize him through the element of him. Because she knew, no? He came with music, he had a camel, she understood who he is. So it was like she called for him through the song, through the silence. So there's this recognition. It's not like, oh, I write in the story. It's almost like, wow, you know, there's this, the beauty of the song or of the silence, what it represents, what it carries, no? The element of merging. And then her answer too was in a way a mirage. And he, sorry, of course he understood, no? She carries the song and the silence and the mirage. She is the three keys. So Paimon, of course, you know, he says, come, he stopped. It's almost like he could understand her without her talking. He's able to listen in the silence. And then he went down from the camel, no, and he spoke to her. And then it's the element of the music that connects them, no? He asks her, how have you learned to sing or play so nice, child of earth, no? But he speaks differently. It's like the entire scene is like many, many verses, no, that I'm trying to simplify. Or look deeper, no? There's always like the meaning of the white mirror and the dark mirror, no? I can say, well, I can go and you know, go even deeper into meaning. But it's pretty much, no, the element of, at the same time, of the fire, of the passion, no? The love, no? That comes, the connection, no? So it's like the light is ignited. That's like the beautiful aspect of it. And of course, no, when it's like when they meet and when he comes down, it's almost like her answer is her prayers are answered, and she accepts to go with him. No, it's almost like a proposition, like a marriage, as I've said, like on the spot. No, and they start to travel together through the desert. No, it was the area of the desert of the past, and then, you know, they have, of course, many days, many nights, and there's lots about, you know, the story of the desert. There's like a big part of the book. It is beautiful realm, no, of the desert, and so there's like the scenario, no, the romantics, like them together. And it's very beautiful, the dialogue between them. And then there's the, you know, I don't remember so much as well in the night or what, you know, there's always some type of dialogue or story. Sometimes it comes through, no, the book carry, like, there's not only one door, no, there's a multitude of information that's like stories that come through, no, through talking, through dialogue. that's the element of the hymn. It's almost like to say, well, it can be talked on the stage, like it has the element of the theater. But this feeling is not Greek, because it's not tragic. It's very like a beautiful end. It's very beautiful. At the same time, it does carry the element of the dark, no, of the night. At the same time, of the desert, of the passion, of the fire, of the communication, the night sky, the stars, no, the romantic, the wedding, the vows. You know, the brides, like they go through different stages, no? And, I mean, that's the story in the book, but one can, of course, because we're talking about King Paimon, also there is the element of magic of the mirror, no? That's like the interesting aspect, how one can learn through the magic of Paimon or through the book, no? To look at different meanings of how the mirror magic, and what meaning it carries, no? And him too, as well as King Paimon. So it's like always through the book you get a feeling, you know, of this realm, of the story, of the hymn is very much taking care of these elements. No, it's like it's very solemn. No, it has a seriousness to it, and at the same time a very much fluid element to it as well. At the same time, it's deep. No, it's like full of knowledge. No, it's like all Father. No, it's like a big mountain. It's this energy, no, flowing of water, of knowing, of, you know, life, of desert, of time. There's always layers on it. It's really nice. And I think it's nice, the story. It's almost like it keeps the poem together. Of course, if I was only to write about him and take, you know, I think that the story gives even deeper understanding of who he is truly, you know. There's the element of magic, of the life, the seed of life, almost like the breath of the god Sara, no, of the desert, it almost says, you know, the gamble of everything. At the same time, the strong aspect of Paimon, no, knowing he's eternal. This very beautiful. It's a very heroic, but he's not heroic. He's a child of God, like a child of desert. He's a man, no. He carries a lot of meaning. At the same time, there's beauty to him, no, as a man, as young, as a child, as you know, a king, or, you know, this element of life, of respect, of dignity, of honor, of truth, of wisdom, no? This like the All Father. So it's very, that's why I think I love the book as much as I do, because it does carry like the like an old grandfather, no? Like a father, no? Will say things like, it has a lot of this knowledge, no? It's very, very beautiful. It's very, yes, you know, it's like you want to say yes, no? It's true, no? It says King Paimon does carry the truth, no? He is the truth, no? I want to say my book is not only fantasy in that way, you know, like I believe he exists, no? I give him that honor. He represents for me. He has a lot of different meanings as well. And of course, he's represented as well in the history and what I know about him. So, you know, of course, the choice of the title, no, King Paimon, and it's very beautiful how the poem, as I've said, always the first key, how the poem starts. It's like always the tone of the book, no, that's like a high note that I achieved. I achieved like a, you know, the way it starts already, it speaks the level, you know, so I had to keep the level. It was not an easy task, okay? I was like, like 680 pages, you know, and going through and looking at really every space, every point. At the same time, arranging the text, no? It has to have a specific flow. I did keep it, so as I said, it's not a classical hymn per se, but it's like exactly how I had to do it. There are parts repeat themselves, which has meaning, why. The beginning is important, the story, you know. So it's like even one can learn, no, what elements in the story one can bring, no, to give it life, to give it meaning, no. And at the same time, that's almost like the message of the book, the first key, the deeper meaning, the beautiful meaning, no, of a story. So it has a mythical character, you know, like it does make me think of white unicorns, you know, there is the element of magical. One has to understand King Paimon in that way, you know, a magical book, but almost like the unicorn magic, no? It's like a very innocent, no? There's the eternal child. The unicorn is a magical realm, no? Of beauty, it represents beauty, freedom, purity, royalty or regality. There was something magical, absolutely beautiful about the unicorn. So the one can say, well, if all keys were hidden, the first key too, and the answer is so beautiful, no? It's almost the lesson is even behind the dark or the non-seeing is exactly that beauty, no? You find the unicorn is there's always a reward waiting, on the other side, no? There's Paimon always protecting, there's Paimon always. So his reverie I give him in the book is not only because I truly love him, because that's what he deserves, and I wrote the book in honor of him, to give, in the meaning of the story with my highest respect, like from the beginning, no? I let him talk, represent himself, no? Me giving the honor, no? So the one who gives honor first, no? It's like I'm setting the tone, no? The first who speaks in the theater, it's like the main character, or it has like the main key, no? You can think, well, if there are 3 keys, it can even be 3 mirrors, no? And like what is hidden behind, no? It's like free choice, it's positive, no? So there's always an element of positivity. Paimon is that, no? He's almost like always there. There's protection of him, there's the meaning of him, the beautiful meaning, no? So there's immediately like adoration. There's immediately, it's like my emotion when I saw him on the throne was just like I could listen to him, forever. There was the feeling of, wanting to connect, to understand, There's the feeling of, wow, there's almost like, just, very beautiful, very eye-opening, very like, wow, okay, King Paimon, what he represents. And there are very many beautiful aspects, of course, the way the camel is dressed, I see the color red, the color blue, the color yellow, there's the celebration aspect, the camel brings the family, the celebration, the safety. Camels are very important, they are made for the desert, it's almost like my response to King Paimon was, may thy camel always find water, my life always be more than everything, him is be as full as possible, always have everything, in the meaning of never something to miss from him, like a meaning of total love, a total admiration, a total understanding of love, and then of course the interest, to understand what's the message and the meaning, and the aspect of the planet Saturn, the black cube, or I don't know exactly, it's almost like the power, of this geometric form, it has the element of 4, in the same time 6, 8, it's almost like it can multiply, but the figure, it was actually like a block, equal, this maybe a little longer on the side, but there's this element of cube, of black mirrors all over, so it's a black cube, literally, and then you have Paimon on his throne, sitting in there with the book, with the keys, and he's reciting. And it's almost like I start the book saying, him talking, don't walk away from me, I'm the beast, almost like he's very strong, he shows how he is to be king, he says, bow to me, of course he's king, it's like you have to show him that respect. So he's almost like mainly a teacher, but he's not, it's like he's who he is, like there's no trick to it. That's what King Paimon represents, he goes direct. So I love this energy, I love this element of King Paimon, and the way he sees himself, at the same time through the desert as well, and the wisdom he carries, and the magical aspect of him, how he's able to understand, read, feel, And then there are different stories that enter through the book. The story of Serael, or there's like older city called Sirta. You know, the book is very much written in that time, in that feeling. It's another part of the book which is beautiful. It's the historical part of it. It is written in that time, in that era, you know, with that language almost. It does carry the print of the past. At the same time, it's an element of the future, no? Through the desert, with the sky, him talking about eternity, the eternal voyageur, the eternal life, the eternal traveler, the eternal love, the eternal child, or the eternal man, the eternal King Paimon, or the abyss, no? The meaning of like the first one, no? The deity, the king of the west, of the fire, of the or even of the metal, no? Mercury. It even speaks about like the first planets, no? Or the Mercury of the Saturn, no? At the same time with Ra, which is the Egyptian god. And going back, I always miss a step. It's the lion or leopard, or like to say the cat of the desert as well, no? And it's to say, well, it does have a meaning why the story is in the desert, why it has so much to do with that. It's like there are a few thematics that repeat themselves. And it is because, how to say, it's like almost a message to say it is real, that's why. Things fit so good together because it's real. It is the pieces of the same puzzle, and the puzzle is done correctly, no? I had that feeling with a book, King Paimon, that I had to put the pieces exactly, you know, how he requested, how he wanted. As I've said, in the way I work on the books, but it's almost like the thematic of it and the importance I gave it, and the way I had to arrange the text. It was part of the story, how I had to write the story. It was a very beautiful experience. I really love, I've said, the book itself, and almost like the meaning that a book has for me, King Paimon. I have learned like the definitely were the elements of the teacher, of the aspect, no, of learning, of opening to new opportunities, no, like for music, or what music represents, the element of excitement, of the future, no, this beautiful almost like I see like orange light. It's very nice, no, it's very very beautiful. The desert is very beautiful. The mirage is real in that way, no, the story is real, the love is real, the life is eternal, no. There's this element of yes, the answer is always yes. If someone yes, the first key, yes, the second key, there's this element of yes. It's like, it's very beautiful, no. And yeah, it's also like King Paimon teaches through yes, no? The admiration of starting a thing you never did is already admirable, because of the courage to start something new. There's always action speaks more, it's like, okay, I start to do something I never did, and it's like, well, I just do it and you learn it, no? Or like playing music, no? It's like, I can, of course, create sound. Of course, I can create music in different ways, there's different ability to express, no? And it's interesting, going back to the first key, I think it just wants to say that the answer is always simple, no? The key is always simple. The answer is simple, finally. But, it's okay. There's always like the second and third key, it is a travel, and it always goes to the first, no? The answer is the same time in the third, in the second, no? There's always, like I said, yes, 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 no? So there's always, the chance is with you. It's almost like it's connected with Paimon. Paimon always protects, but Paimon is always who gives. Paimon is always the one is yes. Of course, when I asked him, of course he said yes, no? He is like that. He's giving. He's a king. That's the meaning of king, no? And then there's this beautiful reciprocal love that she has for him as well, no? So there's this not only recognition of who they are, no? It's almost like he helps her, and then he sees her, no, from the beginning for who she is, and there's this beautiful love, no? This recognition This is my eternal life, my eternal wife. This is my love, no? And then it's almost like he becomes younger with her. And the travel through the desert doesn't go fast, you know, sometimes it goes slow. I've seen her like walking near the camels, him sometimes on the camel, sometimes on the camel, both, no? This element of like there is no rush, no? The journey is taken care of, the journey is going to be well, the journey is going to be beautiful. That is what Paimon brings, no? So it's a way, thank God, the story continues. It's very beautiful, no? So it's always like the next step is beautiful. The next step is this feeling of, no, opening more. The sky opens more. So the element of the aspect where the story is has meaning to the story itself. And that's like the beauty of Paimon, or that's like the beauty of, no, of creating these environments. And then the colors that you see, you know, there's almost like a very visual, very like imagistic painting wise, or way, like a photographic view, or a scenario, like a theater, like a play, you know, like a scene, like and then through the book sometimes the scene jump, you know, of course, the element of surprise too. It has to, because it's very long. I have to, and but it flows. I of course always try to connect, you know, the story. It's not like it's totally new, but of course it brings a new story into the book. And then the story goes back to the main, you know, there's always this repetition, a little wave element to it. So the shape is important, no? The meaning, the answer is always like all come very nicely together in this book. At the same time, it's very relaxing, calm, because it's always like the same environment, no? In the end, it does change, because there is an element of surprise, no? The end always have to carry the third key, which is another thematic that we can talk another time. This was more about like the first key, no? There's always like there are more mirrors behind the mirror, no? There's always, of course, more meaning. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to continue to record another time about different thematics about King Paimon, and the book is called King Paimon, the Lord of the Abyss, the Lord of the Endless Silence, written by Anai's Giulia, and I have it in manuscript. If someone wants to read it, I can send it through email, and it's really a very nice book. And thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.